new version of North Carolina medical marijuana bill would ban recreational marijuana in the future. Medical marijuana opponents fear that if legalized, medical marijuana would quickly lead to a push to fully legalize marijuana for recreational use. A new change to the bill is meant to address those concerns, win more GOP support. North Carolina Senate on Monday sent its strictest ever proposal on medical marijuana to the state house for final approval in the last-minute effort to push a legalization bill over the finish line as the 2024 legislative session enters its final days. The Senate has now passed a medical marijuana bill in each of the past 3 years, each time with broad bipartisan support. But in 2022 and 2023, the House refused to allow it to go up for a vote. Senate Republican leaders are now trying to earn more support in their third try. The Senate approved one key change Monday, banning marijuana from being allowed for recreational use in North Carolina in the future. Excuse me one sec, guys. Okay. Yes, excuse me. Okay. One of the main arguments opponents to medical marijuana have cited is a concern that if legalized, medical marijuana would quickly lead to a push to fully legalize marijuana for any adult to use for any reason. This change, proposed by the bill's lead backer, Senator Bill Rabin, Republican from Brunswick, is meant to address those concerns. Medical marijuana enjoys broad bipartisan support among the general public as well as in the state Senate. It passed the Senate 33-9 in an initial vote last week and 36-10 in the final vote on Monday. But the House has consistently stonewalled the idea. Although it would be expected to pass if put up for a vote, House Speaker Tim Moore said not enough House GOP members support the idea, so he won't allow it to receive a vote. While the new change approved Monday to block future recreational legalization is intended to sway some of those social conservatives in the White House who have been blocking it, one of the few marijuana opponents in the Senate urged his like-minded colleagues in the House to stand firm and keep blocking the bill from moving forward. North Carolina has a way of stopping something that I think is a mistake, said Senator Norm Sanderson, Republican from Pamlico. Hemp and CBD regulations. Another effort by the Senate to sweeten the pot for the House is by tying passage of the medical marijuana bill to a separate bill on CBD and hemp regulation, House Bill 563, a priority for House leadership. Democratic Attorney General Josh Steen told RAL last week that he was concerned that the CBD portion of the bill didn't go far enough to stop children from getting their hands on hemp products currently being sold in North Carolina. It does not protect kids by requiring an ID check, placing drugs behind the counter and away from kids, or keep kids out of the store altogether. Keeping sales away from the schools, adequately addressing advertising or packaging, protecting the child poisonings, or holding violators accountable, Steen wrote in a statement. We can and must do more to keep our kids safe. Todd, that's our favorite slogan.
Yes.
On Monday, the Senate voted to amend the bill to address some of those issues. A change to the bill proposed by Senator Michael LaRaza, a Republican from Onslow, would require stricter ID checks for in-person sales as well as online delivery orders. The new language approved Monday would also require that in any store open to customers under 21 years old, such as convenience stores, hemp and CBD products would have to be kept locked up or behind the counter or otherwise inaccessible to customers without help from an employee. After the vote Monday night, Steen said the new changes were a good start but shouldn't be the final version. I support the provision of the bill regarding medical cannabis, but there's still real work to be done to better protect our kids, he said. And that's the story from Raul. This is an interesting story, and I'm just going to say this is my perspective on things. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing for these states to be proposing a bill that keeps cannabis medical. And I don't think it's for the state's sake that I'm saying this. I think I'm saying this for the operator's sake. Now, I've been in this business a long time. I started in Colorado in 2009. And what I've seen is a systematic dismantling of the grassroots cannabis movement. Okay. And so if you're an operator and you have been in doing this a long time, I can't even believe I'm going to say this, but you shouldn't want to pass a bill or a law to create an adult use cannabis scene or regulation in your state, because what's going to happen is the same thing that's happened systematically in every other state. Keeping it medical protects the operators, the growers, the people that have been doing this. And from that perspective, I say that. So I'd love to hear what everyone else has to say about this. I think this is obviously this is foundational to ideology and not what I'm talking about. Like, the South still has many, many miles to move, but I think that it's a good thing for people that are doing any kind of medical cannabis operation in North Carolina, if they're, Native Americans or if they're other people trying to do this for profit. I think this is a good thing.
Well, I'll tell you what, Saman. I mean, I think who would also probably agree with this is the whole THCA market out there.
No, they love it. I mean,
they don't want adult use necessarily out there because that's going to cut into all of their all into their pocketbooks. And North Carolina is one of the number one states for THCA sales in the country.
Well,
yeah,
it's like
all the
tobacco field
great example.
Turning into hemp fields, man.
See what I'm saying?
Okay.
What are you going to say, Jenny?
Yep.
I was just saying, look at Colorado, right? So, I ran stuff in Colorado Springs for a while. Like, Colorado Springs is still only medical, and people are driving to the little edge of town to get their recreational cannabis because not everybody can get a rec. Not everybody has a qualifying. I mean, obviously, we know that you guys can find doctors who will sign it for your back injury that you didn't have in 1942, right? So
all use is medical use.
We have a differing opinion on that, and not that not all use is medical. I believe it's either spiritual or physical medicine, but you don't get into the woo-woo stuff or I
don't believe in woo-woos.
Mental health and things like that. So
I don't believe in none of that shit.
We have a different opinion on why, but I don't think that, North Carolina is about to do something that is crazy, and it's not to protect the kids. So we'll see what happens. I definitely agree. I prefer when we were medical. But I think that California is a great example of how not to fucking switch over from a medical to a recreational market. And I think that's giving a lot of people kind of shell shock because we've watched kind of some of our businesses take a ginormous shit. But I also watched Colorado Springs still trying to fight for recreational use. They're surrounded by James Dobson's Focus on the Family Center, the Air Force. It's like a little South Bible Belt bubble in Colorado, and they're trying to fight for rec use so that they can save some of their bottom lines. So I think there's good and bad. It's just how you transition.
Mm-hmm. I'm super glad that you brought this article today. This is a great article for us to discuss. It's rich with things we can riff, ramble, and rant about. This is a major step backwards. The notion that a state would ban something even if it becomes federally legal. It makes me want to mention abortion again, but I'm not gonna. Okay,
you already did.
Relax about that. But
that's what makes America great, Yarrow.
The idea that they would come up with something that says even in the event that the federal government legalizes this, it's not okay here, is really regressive policy, and I really appreciate you bringing this article for us to discuss today.
We appreciate your opinion. I mean, obviously it's regressive from where we've gone, but I would say, and I would argue that we have regressed in general from where the cannabis industry should be and the trajectory was on versus where we're at now.
Yeah, we used to get like $4,000 a pound.
I'm shocked that you're.
It also used to be good enough to just have 100 pounds. Now that shit needs to be trimmed, smoke well, clean.
I'm in my feelings, Todd. I'm in my feelings for sure, man. Like this is.
Yeah, but I'm shocked that you agreed with any kind of restriction. No, government stepping in and making restrictions.
I prefaced with. This is from an operator perspective, not from any other.
Oh, he put a disclaimer. That's a disclaimer, Todd.
That's a disclaimer, Todd. But in all honesty, the conglomerization of all of the cannabis operations are only because of this push to legalize for adult use. Because everybody else in that Prop 215 era was thriving more. Yes, there was threats of incarceration with that, which now, you have less of that, but it's still not legal. There's those threats still linger, right? So it's
sure, but isn't it about freeing the weed for the people?
I mean, see what you did there.
Todd,
see what you did there, Todd.
They're already getting access. Todd, they're already getting access. It's called THCA. So, it's like they're already getting
So now you're a fan of hemp-derived THCA.
No.
And fake shit.
Not hemp-derived THCA.
Oh, here we go.
Saman's doing.
I'm not
Let me find out some.
I'm not a fan. Hold on.
You rolled out medical in Nevada, and then we did recreational.
There's a difference between THCA and synthesized Delta 9.
Thanks. I work in a lab. Thank you.
I know. I'm telling you, just to reiterate for our audience. Okay, there's no THCA synthesis process. You're not going to create that THCA product. And if you are going to create that THC product, trust me when I say it's not going to be like so readily available until somebody really makes that a scaled process, which takes a lot of money because the chemical synthesis is pretty intense with all that.
Saman, what is your THCA brand called?
My THCA brand is called High at 9 News.
There we go. So we do want to thank the C word. We do want to thank the C word very much for a big old super chat who says, "Good morning. Somebody please think of the children."
Yeah, think of that, Todd Denkin.
So Todd, are you telling me that that Saman basically stole Rico's flip flops on this issue?
Well, there's no flip flops on this issue. Fuck DA. Fuck the hemp-derived THC product. But I'm gonna say, if you're an operator, look at these huge hands. Okay, look,
huge.
If you're an operator in North Carolina and you have a medical cannabis business or you have something going on, adult use is a direct threat to that. You'll see what's going to happen. Yes, everybody pushes for it because we want to see progress. But when it comes down to it, the people suffering were the original grassroots movers and shakers that brought this industry to where it is, that brought these brands to where it is. And that's just how it is, man.
That's true. No argument there.
No argument there.
I don't know. Access, more access.
I like the access.
Limited government bullshit.
Todd, how much? How much could we invest into like an industry organization that protects that? Because that's really where it is.
The industry has to have money to do that.
But the industry can lobby.
I don't know. We got to pay MJ Freeway $80,000 a year.
Exactly.
So, there's not a lot left over.
Rico, are you with us?